Welcome to today's Home Remodeler. I'm Stuart Keith, and on today's show, well, we're walking through the professional roofing process. We'll begin with Mark Egan from Ryan Roofing, who will introduce our project and explain how to assess a home's roof after a hailstorm. Next, our product specialist, Kevin Hayes, shows us the various products that make up a complete roof system. And we'll finish up with professional installation. And Mark shares some advice on selecting the right contractor for your situation. So we have a lot to cover today, and we'll get started after these messages.
Is your roof leaking and causing damage inside your home? Then contact the professionals at Ryan Roofing. With over 30 years of experience, we can repair, restore, or re-roof your home. We're locally owned and operated, and we have a proven track record of quality workmanship, dependable service, and reasonable prices. Ryan Roofing, where your complete satisfaction is our guarantee, and no job is ever too large or too small. Give us a call for a free, prompt estimate.
As the old saying goes, if you don't like the weather here in the upper Midwest, just wait 5 minutes. From brutal winters to severe storms in the summer, these weather extremes can wreak havoc on a home, especially the roof. So let's begin today's show with Mark Egan from Ryan Roofing, who introduces our re-roofing project and explains what you should do if a hailstorm hits your area. Well, Mark, beautiful day for doing some re-roofing.
It's a great day for roofing, that's for sure.
So what's the situation out here in the country at this beautiful home?
Well, the homeowners were here when it was hailing last May, and they noticed that a lot of their trees and shrubs were damaged from the hail, and they thought they should have somebody come and take a look at their roof as well.
Well, you bring up an interesting point. We hear a lot about hail damage, storm damage, and what should a homeowner do in a situation like that to know if there's any damage to their house?
Most companies offer a free inspection. You can have a roofing professional come out, take a look at the roof, and they'll advise you, if you got damage or not, or depending on how old your roof is, whether you need it replaced or not.
Well, you say find a good, knowledgeable contractor to do that. How do you recommend they do that?
Well, you can check with the Better Business Bureau or friends that have had a roof done recently, see if, they can give you a referral.
Okay, so these homeowners, you said, experienced it firsthand, saw the hail coming down, could actually see the damage to the plants and everything.
Right, yep.
So if you weren't home, you didn't experience it firsthand, are there some telltale signs they should be looking for on their roof to know if there's any damage?
Well, there's not a lot you can see with the naked eye if you don't know what to look for, but you can look at the soffit and the fascia and the side, and you can see if you have any hits in that. So
what does the hail actually do to the shingles?
Well, it knocks off the granules that protect the asphalt from the sun's rays, which deteriorate it very rapidly. And then also, if it's real heavy hail, it actually punctures the shingle.
So it breaks down the backbone of the material, and even if you can't see it, your roof still looks fine. A year or two down the road, you might have roof failure, and really premature roof failure.
Right, yeah, the hail's definitely going to lower the life expectancy of that roof.
Well, whether you're talking storm damage or just the natural aging of a roof, why don't we take a walk around and do a little assessment on this one?
All right, let's do it.
So when you arrive on site, how do you get the assessment started?
Well, Stu, first we just take a walk around the exterior, and we're just going to look and see if we can find anything that stands out to us that we need to concentrate on.
So when you say stands out, what specifically are you looking for?
Bad flashing, maybe a curling or deteriorating shingles.
So in this case, obviously there's hail damage. You said out front that it's not necessarily visible to the naked eye, but when I look up there, I see some roof vents that look like they're kind of beat up. Was that from the hail?
Yeah, it was, and the soft metal on this house was all dinged up really bad.
So are you going to need to replace those?
Yeah, we do a complete tear off, everything from the roof up, whether they were damaged or not, we would replace.
Okay, now let's quickly touch on the role of ventilation in a roof. Is that very important?
Oh, it's extremely important to the life expectancy of the roof. If the attic temperature isn't the same temperature as the exterior, the roof just isn't going to last.
Another thing I noticed out front were the streaking. What was that? Is that a sign of wear on the roof?
No, that's algae or mildew, and that's on every roof. But sometimes the hail, when it hits the roof, it loosens the algae up and it washes down.
And I bet a homeowner, if they're not partial to that look, different types of shingles can actually mask that sometimes.
Yeah, it can, and after a hailstorm, it might be more predominant than before.
Now, this one, obviously, you're tearing everything off, you said. Is it possible to go over top of existing shingles? If I'm a homeowner looking up saying, boy, this looked pretty flat, I bet I can save some money and go right over top.
No, not in Minnesota, Stu. We have, by state code, we have to do a full tear off and replacement. Layovers aren't allowed in Minnesota.
Well, that's a great point that homeowners should take to heart, is when they're looking for an experienced contractor, understand the codes, make sure you're not trying to cut corners and go over top of an existing roof.
That's right.
And really, you're going to get your best value by tearing it off, doing a thorough inspection, and doing it right from the get-go, replacing everything that needs to be replaced?
Certainly will. A layover, even if we were allowed to do it, a 25 or 30 year shingle will only last 10 to 15 years.
Do you ever run into any rot when you're tearing it off, and what happens in that case?
We run into it now and then, and our people are trained to look for rot, possible, anything that might add cost to the re-roof, and we let the homeowner know if there may be some decking or rot issues involved.
Okay, so again, an experienced contractor can give you a pretty accurate estimate of what your replaced roof is going to cost.
That's right.
By the time they leave?
Right. We can let the homeowner know if they can expect to be any additional costs in new decking or roof repair.
Now, Mark, back around front here, wow, are they making some headway on tearing off?
Yeah, they
this
move
roof?
pretty fast.
Almost looks like a choreographed routine.
It really is. There's a foreman in charge, and he tells everybody what they're supposed to be doing, and they follow pretty well.
It's pretty typical to have. It looks like you have 8 or 10 guys up there working.
Our normal crew is 7 to 10. This is a pretty good sized roof here, so we have 10 guys on the roof.
Well, you know, the first thing I noticed when I pulled into the house is the beautiful landscaping.
Yes.
And it's got to be a concern for any homeowner, whether it's storm damage or just replacing a roof. You don't want your existing landscaping to be damaged.
Yeah, that's always a concern for most homeowners. And we do our best to protect the landscaping with boards and tarps covering everything up.
Yeah, I noticed you put OSB up against anywhere that there's windows, and you have the tarps over top of the plants.
Yeah, that keeps the shingles from sliding down on the roof here, from falling back against the house and scarring or marking up the siding.
So is it fair to say it's your goal as a company to leave the landscape in better condition than when you arrived?
It absolutely is, too. We want the homeowner to know that we care as much about their property as they do. And when we're done here with all the cleanup, we pick up all the specs, even through the landscaping here, and then we do a magnet sweep, make sure we don't leave any nails behind.
Now, Mark, obviously this is a beautiful sunny day, no rain in the forecast, but if there were rain in the forecast, as a homeowner, do I need to be worried that it might rain at this stage of the process?
No, that's an important thing for us too, and we always have plenty of tarps with us in case that does happen, that we can cover it up right away so there's no damage to the home.
Now, how large is this roof?
This is 46 squares here.
So a 46 square roof, how long is it going to take your company to re-roof this?
Our aim is always to have a roof done in one day.
You mean just the tear-off portion one day?
No, the tear off, the re-roof, cleanup, in and out one day.
That's incredibly quick. And to me, that's a great point for a homeowner to keep in mind. Make sure you go with a company that's not only experienced, but has the manpower to get it done in a day, so there's really very little inconvenience.
That's right. They don't have to be moving their cars around for us or be home in case anything should come up.
Well, a little later in the show, I'll catch up with you to learn more about the professional installation process. But next, I want to find out more about the products they selected for this job.
That sounds good, Stu.
And we'll do that next, when we continue with today's Home Remodeler.
Is your roof leaking and causing damage inside your home? Then contact the professionals at Ryan Roofing. With over 30 years of experience, we can repair, restore, or re-roof your home. We're locally owned and operated, and we have a proven track record of quality workmanship, dependable service, and reasonable prices. Ryan Roofing, where your complete satisfaction is our guarantee, and no job is ever too large or too small. Give us a call for a free, prompt estimate.